Hey, up my ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome to the final QuaranStream, and it's great to see so many people already in the chat, catching up, getting to know everybody. I'll just do a very quick kind of run through because there's a lot to get through in the next hour. But hello to Ellie. She's like, "Where's Rob?" Yeah, where is Rob on the final QuaranStream? And Rob isn't in from like 2 hours before. So hello, Ellie. We've got Nancy, Laurie, Sharon, Caroline. We have David, Sage Advice, Tammy Pie, Richard, and Isabel, Chris, Sandra, Adam, and Patrice. Hello, Patrice. Our Jamie's here, Laurie, Feline Fortuna, and Chantel, Heather, Malamia. Who else have we got? We've got Susie Snoo. Hello, how are you, Susie Snoo? Nancy, and Jennifer Rebecca, Anne. Hello, Anne. Oh, no need to cry, Anne. We'll still keep going as a channel and as a community. Claire, Rayburn Glands, Deanne, hello Deanne, and Debbie. Stephen's here. Hi, Stephen. I think Emma. We've got Emma and Brenda, Erin, Foxes and Brown Bears. That's a nice name. Foxes and Brown Bears Tarot. Kim, hello Kim. Alex, hello Alex. Diane, Alexandra, Donna. Wow, Melissa. So many people. Betsy, Ziffa, Woman Who Sees, Forever Whereafter. Ken, Vincent, and that's it. So lovely to see everybody. How are we doing? So this is QuaranStream number 91. He says not having his, and did I even update it? No, I'm such a slacker. Let's pop that on. So QuaranStream 91, it is the final. It's hard to believe there's been 91 kind of live streams during a quarantine period. But this is where we get mixed up. We've got the QuaranStream, we've got the quarantine, but I've also been really blessed to have an amazing quarantine as well. And there have been moments when I've not been able to do this, and two people in particular have been able to jump in and save the day. So it would be remiss of me if I wasn't, how can I put it? Let's just say, I think for a final, I need to have a little bit of support from my quarantine friends. So let's welcome Chris.
Hey.
And Richard.
Hello.
So I've asked them to come along because, as I've said in the past, they've helped me out and they've done QuaranStreams. I've got it right this time. They've done QuaranStreams themselves during this slot to make sure that there's been something happening every day of the week when I've not been able to do it. So yeah, give them a big welcome. And everybody's saying hello, Chris and Richard. Finger snaps and claps. I like that. So how are you both doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. Ticking along nicely.
Yeah. So because this is the last one as well, we decided we would have a little celebratory drinky poo.
Yeah, put that water down, Richard. Down the drain where it belongs.
Chaser.
So, so Chris, that's not an alcoholic version of any sort of iron brew, is it?
No, it's not. It's not iron brew at all. It is martini and lemonade. It is not the nicest, but it's alcohol and I'm going to drink it.
It's not the nicest, but when it's the only thing in the house that's alcoholic,
that's exactly what it is.
And Richard?
I've got a non-alcoholic Merlot.
Oh, wow.
Because I've given up
The
the
Ellsberg.
booze for Lent, so I'm still celebrating, but with the grape juice.
That's good. Yeah, the Ellsberg is quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
Some of those non-alcoholic ones can be a little bit, you know, they're more like Perrier waters and things, aren't they? Like Amay and Schlur.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I've got Chardonnay, and I had a little bit of a disaster. Just rushing to go live, I was talking to Chris and Richard, and I poured it in because I was sat here with a coffee, completely forgetting. I was like, "It's the final," and I said I'd have a drink. So as I'm pouring it in, it splashed over everywhere. First thing Chris said was, "Has it damaged any cards, Simon?" I'm like, "No, thank goodness it hasn't."
Well, I had to check.
Yeah.
It's like a couple of weeks ago, there was an alarm going off here, a fire alarm, and all people were bothered about was the decks. You know, it wasn't make sure you're safe, Simon. It was like, what are you going to do about your decks? even Elle was in the chat worried about her inheritance.
No, that's all I was doing. I was looking after Smelly Ellie's inheritance.
Yeah, wine damaged. Oh, Pepsi on ice. Yeah, so what's everybody else having for the QuaranStream final? We've got Diet Coke, Pepsi on ice, lunchtime here, so not drinking. Rosé from Provence. Full-bodied wine for me, says Anne. That's nice. Yeah, it's Friday as well. Not only is it the final QuaranStream, but we've all got that Friday feeling, haven't we?
Definitely.
So, Richard, you're in education too, like me, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you prepared for the big day on Monday?
No, I'm actually not going back on Monday. We're going back on Thursday. We've started organising the testing, and we've had the students in practicing that. So we're rolling that one out. So we go back actually into the building on Thursday. So I'm still got a few more lessons online. Prepared as best we can.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that we just go in and just get ourselves back into the routine and not try and hit it straight on the head, and just catch up with the students and make sure they're all okay before we endeavour to do more lessons and all the other stuff that goes with it.
And we're having to test twice weekly now as well, aren't we? I mean, since January, we've been doing weekly tests. And because ours is specialist education, we've actually had to stay open throughout it all. But then, of course, you've got half the staff who are shielding, and then some learners not wanting to access. So we've been having like half online, half physically teaching in classes. We've all been redeployed and doing lots of different things. But as from Monday, we're back to normal. Well, as normal as you can, really. And yeah, it's gonna be strange to get back into the rhythm of things, but
just looking forward to catching up with all the students again, because that's the reason we do it, to be with them. So yeah,
absolutely. But it will have its challenges, but you know, what's life without a challenge? So what about yourself, Chris? Are you continuing? Do you think working from home now will be kind of part and parcel of your role, or will you eventually move back into an office setting?
So we'll move back to some sort of office arrangement at some point. But I actually worked from home half my week before COVID, and they've only become more kind of flexible about how people work, where people work and stuff. That, and my work is actually moving. We're moving locations this year. So that's another kind of complication. So basically, it's looking like I'm going to be from home full time until at the very least July, and then probably then some as well. But yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm looking forward to getting back into into working in the office. I feel that I'm more productive, and I'm just a social person. I like to be around people, and I like to, I don't know, just have even if you're not having a constant conversation with someone, it's just nice to have people around about you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. When we first went into lockdown a year ago, it was literally five months that I went from going to work every day. I used to have Fridays at home, a working from home day, and I used to love that because during the week, anything I didn't have time to do, I put into a folder for my working from home day, and I called it my admin day. And I like that. But when I was suddenly at home every single day and trying to get my head around Zoom and Microsoft Teams and everything else and support my team who were up in Rotherham and Sheffield and everywhere else, it was really challenging. And then when we kind of had that little bit of a reprieve in September and we went back, it was, I thought, oh, that's wonderful. And then, of course, Christmas happened in January and I was back launching QuaranStream again. But after a day, we was told, if you can come back to work, do come back to work. And I was like, thank goodness. Because the thought of another 5 months from working from home was just, and I'm mindful that there's people here in the chat who haven't left their houses in a year, basically. Kelly Bear, who I talk to all the time, has been totally, shielding for the past 12 months. And it's having a massive impact on people's overall well-being, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I class myself as one of the lucky ones that I've been able to carry on with some kind of normality, really.
Hey Shane.
Sorry, go on, Chris.
I was saying, hey Shane.
All right. Emma says, I believe I'm still work from home until September. I honestly feel very fortunate for that. Yeah, depending on who you talk to, some people, quite like the fact that they can work from home. Other people just want to get out into the workplace, and it depends on personal situations, people's health, anxieties, and stuff like that. And we have to remember as well that we three are fortunate because we're still in work. There's lots of people out there who just haven't been able to keep their jobs. Companies have folded. It's a sad and dire situation, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So that aside, plans for the weekend? It's Friday. Have we got anything, much plans as we can do in a kind of semi-lockdown?
Sorry, Richard, on you go. You go first.
Thanks. I'm just going to catch up with some friends on calls, on Zooms and things like that. Got a friend who's got a birthday coming up soon, and I think just prepare for next week, going back and start doing the washing and the ironing and get all those chores done so that we're just prepared for whatever comes along, and just try and relax a bit. And Peter, my husband, he works, he goes out to work, and so just to spend some time with him be really good.
Yeah, and I suppose, well, with you not going back Monday, I was going to say this weekend for a lot of people in education, and so I'm saying education because that's the first stage, isn't it? Monday the 8th is stage 1, and that's all schools and colleges back. It was saying on Jeremy Vine today, because I listened to Jeremy Vine, that this Sunday will be the mother of all kind of Sunday feelings. Yeah, that Sunday night feeling. Yeah. It's back to work. You've got to iron your work shirts and prepare your packed lunch and all that. This one, after a huge lockdown, will be pretty intense. So what about yourself, Chris? What you got planned for the weekend?
Probably just lots of YouTube, because last weekend I dropped my Wi-Fi dropped, so I missed out on all of Sunday and Monday's kind of YouTubeness. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in Tarot Play Day. I'll probably try and go see my gran tomorrow. Go visit her. What else? Just relax and chill. And I was off last week, so off work. So this week's been a really long week at work. So I'm just looking forward to kind of chilling out and just not having to do anything too serious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So is your grandma in your bubble then, or does it work different up in Scotland? Is there different arrangements in place?
So with my gran, she's not well, and there's a different, and it's the same in England. If someone's really ill, then you're allowed to visit them. There's criteria and stuff that I won't kind of go into the details, but yeah, like I'm allowed to visit her, so I am. But she's not like we don't actually have a bubble, neither we do. Me and Sandy, we don't have anyone in our bubble.
Okay.
So yeah, it feels as though my lighting's just changed. I feel as though my pictures just went very blue.
You've just
All
gone
of a sudden.
you just got like the first edition of the Druid Craft, you know that.
That was weird, like, because I like literally nothing's changed. Like, anyway, sorry, squirrel. What was I saying? What were we saying? Yeah, no. So yeah, like she's not in my bubble or anything. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. I just, you know, you do that thing where you look down and you read something and you realise you've read it wrong. I've just read Tammy Pie's comment, and I read it as, "I'm trimming the handle with both feet," and I was like, "What?" But she said she's jumping into the handle with both feet.
Oh.
I just read it as that, trimming the handle with both feet. I was like, oh, that's skilled.
That's taking trimming skills to a whole new level, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can do it with your feet.
So Corbyn's working from home until autumn. There's lots of people in some countries where this is carrying on right through the summer. Till somebody else had just said, I'm working from home till September. So it's Chris the second edition. I don't know if I like the second edition, Chris. I think I prefer the first edition.
The Druid Craft, or just of me?
The filter that you've got on now, your kind of bluey green tint.
I don't even know what to. Turn the big light on, that'll make a difference, won't it?
It could be the setting sun kind of changing the.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I've got the blinds closed behind me, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. But give me 2 seconds, I'll turn the light on.
Becca said, "Look at that crazy fire behind Richard."
Look, I know, the fake fire.
It does look cozy though.
It's been really cold today, actually. It's had the heating on all day. It's been absolutely freezing. So I did have it on earlier on, and the cats all came round and all cuddled up. It's quite sweet. A bit like Christmas again.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. When that warm weather came, I think it was last weekend, I actually switched my heating off, and I've been getting up every morning for work at 5:30, and I've not needed it on. This morning, I sat delivering a training session on Zoom, and I was shivering. And I had to say, just bear with me a sec, guys. And I went and switched all the heating on. But yeah, it's really took a dip today.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Kelly Bear. Hello. We've just not been talking about you. How are you doing? So it's good to see. Wow, there's 121 people here.
Wow.
To join in the final. So yeah.
Cheers to them.
Yes, cheers to everybody. And you know, those of you who are here, we've made it. I know there are different parts of the world that are still, you know, in complete lockdowns and things like that. But you know, it's been a long journey. Richard asked me just before we went live as well. He said, "How do you feel about this being the final QuaranStream?" And I said, you know, it's kind of bittersweet, you know. I feel in some ways it's going to be really sad because it has become kind of a staple, and it's something that is regular, and I've got used to doing it. But at the same time, it will be a relief too, because it does take a lot to do a live stream every single day, with the exception of Sunday. And then I'm involved in chats and play date and things like that on a Sunday as well. So it'll be nice to take that bit of a step back. But I think for the first few days next week, when I get home from work, I'll be like, oh, what do I do? Do I have my tea early, or do I still at 7:30 in the evening? But it's been amazing. It's been lovely, but it's sad that it had to happen in the first place, really. You know, it's something nice that came out of something horrible. And I just hope, and I mean this in the nicest way, I just hope it's never needed again. You know, I hope that we're continuing to move forward now. And lives will always happen. There'll always be lives, you know. This was just for a particular purpose. Emily says, QuaranStream is like toast and butter in the morning. Oh.
Gosh, I miss being able to have toast and butter in the morning. Blooming dieting.
Are you doing any particular diet, or are you back on Slimming World?
Well, I'm kind of trying to stick to Slimming World plan, but like not the best at sticking to it if I'm really honest with myself. And this is the downside to like being on YouTube and especially doing lives now, because when we're doing this, I'm sitting looking at my face thinking, geez, I really need to lose some weight. Like, who ate this? So yeah, I don't know, but I'm getting married in January and I'm going to be motivated. I just don't want to peak too early, so I keep telling myself I'm waiting until the optimum time to really start getting into it. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
I like that.
Here's a top tip for you as well. If you're worried about things like that on YouTube, all you have to do is elevate your camera higher. The higher your camera goes, the slimmer your face appears. Seriously. Whereas if you're looking at it downwards, yeah. So I've got boxes and things piling higher, and I've gone kind of.
You'll be like that.
October, December. I'm up to March now. You know. You think I'm joking?
Oh, thanks, Deanne.
Oh,
what did Deanne say? I've missed a comment.
I would feel boastful if I read it out, so I'm just going to say she said something very nice.
Yeah. Oh, I'll read it out. Then I found it. Oh, Chris, you're so super handsome. But good luck on your goals. There you are. That is a nice comment.
Thank you.
Me and Richard will just sit here like chopped liver and
yeah.
Oh, there's Laurie. Laurie comes in to save the day there.
Oh yeah. Well done, Laurie.
My face is still thin, just saggy. Oh, no, we mustn't put ourselves down. We're wonderful as we are, you know. Yeah. So we go through enough without having to be too kind of self-deprecating on things. So yeah. So have you? We had a little bit of a chat before we went live, and I know you've not had any kind of newbies yet. But are you waiting on anything exciting?
Go on, Chris. Anything?
Well, I have backed the Chakra Healing Tarot on Kickstarter, but that is still live. What else? Don't know. I've got no. Do you know? I've not ordered anything. I've not ordered anything in a while. I've actually been like kind of. It's not as if I've been making a conscious effort to like. I don't want to say be good because then that implies that buying stuff is bad, which is not. Yeah. But I don't mean it in that way. But like I've not been making a conscious effort to not buy anything. But I just I don't know. I've kind of not really been unless something really like kind of grabs me. Then I've not really been getting anything. So no, I'm a bit boring actually. I'll need to kind of I'll need to sort that out, won't I? I'll need to order something over the weekend.
Well, I suppose it's only if you feel really kind of drawn to a particular deck. I don't think it's necessarily boring or I've been bad. If actually nothing's taking your fancy, otherwise we're just buying for the sake of buying, aren't we? So yeah, I suppose it's just finding something that you're drawn to, and if you're drawn to it, allowing yourself, if you can get it, to get it without attaching any sort of guilt to that.
What's that?
About yourself, Richard? Anything?
I'm just waiting for a lot of Kickstarters to come in still. I haven't bought anything during February. I was really cautious of just buying decks for the sake of it. And then I nearly made it through February without buying one. And then I saw a couple of Neo Riders that I had to have. So I got those. And I bought the line and the brush tarot. There's the other purchases that I've made.
Oh.
But I have been backing quite a lot on Kickstarter at the moment. There's been some really fabulous decks that I really liked. So there's one called the Ghost Light,
Okay.
which is West End shows, theatre shows, musicals mainly, as a tarot deck, and that's got my name all over it. And I'm just waiting for things like the Witches. I can never remember it. Witches Oracle, Witches Compendium. I can't remember which one it is to come in, and I'm still waiting for I've got a list of them here actually. The Spread Machine, still waiting for that to come in. And I know because of COVID, everything's been held up, but
Yeah.
like it's almost a year now for some of these to come through, and it's like I will still keep backing these because I really believe in helping people with these decks. But sometimes when you don't get the information, and it's a bit like I feel like I'm the last person actually being posted it sometimes gets a little bit.
Yeah, and I was really surprised with Compendium of Witches because it's a UK creator, and they shipped overseas first. And I was like, most decks that are created overseas, we wait till last, and then we get to back somebody in our own country, and we're still being left till last. So that miffed me a little bit, but I got over it.
I'm still a bit sore about that one.
Yeah, because it's still not come.
It's still not come. Yeah.
But anyway, and then I've also got the Tower Takeover is due, and then even though I said I wasn't backing anymore after backing 8 in a year, I did back Ivy's new deck, from Wheel of Fortune Tarot and the Feline Marseille versions, because that was actually quite reasonable. I think both decks were like £52 for both of them and free shipping, and I was like, I can't not. And I know the quality is going to be there because decks, are always good quality. A bit like the Destiny, you've done the brush and the Lionscape Tarot. The quality decks are superb. Kelly Bear said, I've got Note coming to me, although there's about 1,000 books that I want. And Loris Tarot went to the wrong address.
I just had a thought, actually. I know that Kelly Bear's working with Thoth just now. And I don't know if you guys have followed Mendy on Instagram, but she's been working a lot with this deck. Now, it's entitled Oracle, but it is a tarot. Is it something like Thoth Journey, Oracle of Change, or Oracle of Transformation? So it's entitled an Oracle, but it's a Thoth. It's like a kind of a Thoth tarot deck, but it's really beautiful. It's kind of illustrated pips, but you can kind of almost see the elements of the Thoth in it, but it's like the illustrations are beautiful. It's beautiful artwork. So I would imagine it would, and I know Kelly Bear's been working with Thoth because I watched a video that she put out recently on it. So definitely look that up, because that I was even kind of attracted towards it, and I'm not even really that big on Thoth. So sorry, I just
that's cool.
I remember.
Caroline said she's received the Wheel of Fortune Tarot. It's beautiful, and it is. It's a really beautiful. The artwork in it is lovely. What I did receive today, it came yesterday, but I went and got them today, are the tarot tins from Make Playing Cards. So we've got the Saint Tarot, which is cool. So
that's lovely.
It is. It's come out really nice. Really nice. So I can put my Zany Tarot in there. Oh, God, that fits gorgeous. Perfect. And then the second one, I did a trade with Brant, and he sent me the Albano, I think he said a 1968. It's in this wooden box at the moment. And then Melissa made this gorgeous version of the Albano tarot, which is gorgeous. And Melissa made a box, so I got that. So it's another one to go with my tin deck. So I love Make Playing Cards tins. Have either of you ever bought any?
No. I want to, though. I'd really like to put some of my decks into tins.
Yeah. They're printed straight onto the tin, and they're really good quality. They haven't scratched off. I've got about 20 different ones there. But
how long does it take for them to make them and send them?
Normally, once you put your order in, it's normally within 3 days you get the shipping notification, and then it's got quicker. This was 3 weeks ago, and it came yesterday, so about 3 weeks from Germany. You can pay something like €40 and have it within 3 days, which is like, I think it's FedEx to you, but it's only £15 shipping, and it comes about 3 weeks on average. So.
There's Rob, Simon.
Sorry?
There's Rob.
Oh, Rob's here. Everybody was asking. And Brant's here. He says, yes, it's 1968, is that Albano. So, yay, Brant, the tin's arrived. So it's got a little home now. I had two tins made with my own artwork. It makes very personal. Yeah, it's a good idea to create your own. Make playing cards sells the tins. Yes, they do. Yeah. Okay, so shall we do quote of the day? So the three of us have it's one card, obviously, and we've got 3 quotes. So we're going to do it really quickly. So when I flash up who's ever it is, I'll go Richard, Chris, me, shall we? And then just read your quote, and then first one to get it, like we usually do. And Richard's been pretty good at these. Well, Chris has.
I'm not allowed to play now. It's like the last one, isn't it? And I'm like, could have been the crowning champion, but no.
And being as it's the last one, I think we have made this quite easy, to be fair. I think it's pretty. It will be a quick guess, but let me just get the images up. So, Richard.
Celebrate endings, for they precede new beginnings.
Chris?
That's all, folks.
All's well that ends well. People
Dale says you bloody better have.
Yeah, and straight away, second guess, Death is quite popular.
Yeah.
Jennifer, Rebecca guessed the world. So, of course, it's the world card, because if we're thinking, we decided to do the world for the final QuaranStream as well, because it's a card that's very much about, it represents fulfillment and completeness, somebody who is kind of contented, at peace with how things are. It's just a card that kind of brings together the accumulation of everything that we set out to do, but also reminds us that once you've reached the world, that isn't the end. It's just the end of that particular cycle, and we go on, just like we'll go on in some form. Did you want to talk about your quotes?
For me, I think mine's is pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Can I just point out that Elle actually got it right, so we're not going to have any complaints today about it.
Well, she got it right, like after 4 other people had typed it, and I showed the card.
I'll leave it alone, Simon. She got it right.
I'm not going to
take it away from her.
After the hard time she's given me
the
last 10 weeks of doing quote of the day, do you really think I'm going to let her off that easily? And to be fair, we put word. Just like with the Christmas quiz the year before last, where she put, what was it? Wegnog. I'm like, no, you can't have that. That's not a drink. You've lost. So, just checking if there's. I studied all week. Jennifer got it right. She's like, I studied all week. You just imagine her there with something like the Arrow Bible, learning all the kind of quotes to get it right.
Jen's missed it. Oh.
What was that?
Jen's missed it. Jen's missed it. The last quote of the day, she said, "Dang it."
There were 3 from us. There was Richard. Do you want to say yours again?
Yeah. Celebrate endings, for they precede new beginnings.
And Chris's.
That's all, folks.
And mine was all's well that ends well. So yeah, because it was the final rigged, says hashtag rigged. Yeah, we'll let you have it. You did guess it eventually. But all right, so let's do I even forgot to put the little banner up. Let's do deck of the day. And they were talking in Deanne's live this afternoon, weren't they, about the little Deanne actually has this earworm in her head as she goes about her day. She's singing deck of the day, deck of the day. So we should have practiced that. We could have sang
it. That'd have been nice. Chris loves a bit of singing.
No, I do not. Do you know what I've been singing all afternoon? Jane's wee start-up tune. See that do 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 do. I've been doing that all afternoon. Jen's kind of intro music, bloody stuck in my head because Jen put a video up of an unboxing, a Kickstarter haul, which everybody should watch. But obviously, it starts with her intro. And it's really it's a really catchy wee tune, so it is. I love it. But I've been humming it all afternoon. So yeah, that's been my earworm for the afternoon.
Okay, so can anybody guess what our deck of the day is going to be? Obviously, it's going to be a deck that we've all got. Another clue is it's a favourite of one of us here. So much so that it's been considered their soul deck. Oh yeah, I watched it first thing this morning. I don't remember seeing it, but I have been busy all day at work. But I'll certainly watch it later. Blushing Fool, says Shane.
Ooh.
Rider Waite, says Al. Starts with a P, says Chantel. MA says Lightseer. Becca says Lightseers. Yeah, it is the Lightseers Tarot. So we had to have a deck that we all had, and actually, I think it was Richard who you suggested it, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lightseers Tarot is what we're going to take a look at. Mine's in this fabulous bear pouch. I saw when Jen came to the UK and she stayed here in Hermit's Cave. She brought the Lightseers with her, and she had this pouch which had these amazing colours that just matched. You look at the back of the decks; they match perfectly. So I said to Kelly, "Can you make me one?" And she did, and it's got this gorgeous, sparkly ribbon as well. Good choice, says Jen. Well, lots of love for the Lightseers in the room. It's Debbie's deck of the month. Oh, I love watching this deck on walkthroughs. Well, we've asked if Chris will kind of lead this because he's like, it's his soul deck. He uses it all the time. And Richard was saying just before we come in, it was nice to see the deck again as I put it in order. And Chris was like, see it again? You don't see it every day.
Found at the bottom of the pile over there somewhere. No, it's a beautiful deck, but I've just been looking at other decks, and but I did fall in love with it again.
It did feel really weird putting this in order, by the way, because this is one that I use all the time, so it's never been in order since I got it. So that was odd, and it'll be an interesting experience to go through them all in order, so it will. But I mean, I'm thinking that I should probably try and shut up a wee bit during this, otherwise we might end up here for a while.
No, that's fine. We're okay. So I'm going to show the indie version just to give a bit of difference, although there's not a lot of difference. It's minor. And this is the second print run of the indie version. So it is not the one with the original 10 of Swords. It's the one with the replaced 10 of Swords. Lovely magnetic box. The book is a gorgeous thick book. Lots of info in here. So with this being your sole deck, Chris, did you arrive late to the party? Did you kind of miss the Kickstarters and the second release?
Yeah. I only found out about this deck about a year ago. When I came back into the kind of, when I got really back into Tarot Tube. And yeah, by that time, I think there was maybe still a few indie on the website that you could get through Chris Hand's website, but I didn't really kind of realise at that point that it was going to be my sole deck, so I didn't think to get the indie version. I thought, oh, I'll get the mass market. I couldn't think of what the word there was. I was going to say everyday version. The mass market version, I just got that from Newhouse, I think.
Yeah. And I did a side-by-side comparison of this deck, and other than the feel of the card quality, I've got to say that actually, and I paid £11. I think it's the cheapest tarot deck I've ever bought, which was the mass market version, mass-produced version, and they did a good job. They did a pretty good job, and if I hadn't been able to get this, I said at the time, I think I would still be pretty satisfied with the Hay House version. There was a couple of things. It's a little bit shinier, and this is, I think, 380 GSM, nearly 400 GSM, so it's good quality. But in terms of the print and the colour tones, yeah, it's fine.
Did you edge it, or did it come edged, Simon?
It comes edged. So the indie version came with this lovely green colour already edged. So I did edge my mass produced. I couldn't get the same green, but it still came out pretty nice.
Well, what did you use, Simon? Because I've edged my mass produced, but it's nowhere near as nice as what yours is.
I think I just used a Windsor and Newton, but it's not brilliant when you compare it to.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. You were holding up the indie version. I thought you were showing your mass produced there when you said that. Right, I've got you.
Look what card is on top of my followed by.
Simon, what are you using that deck for?
Simon.
Well, just to give you, I mean, this is in order, but you can see there is no shine at all. It is that lovely matte, whereas with this one, there is that sort of glossy, which you don't get with this at all. But other than that, it's a great version. So that's funny that they're on the top. I think we must have done a photo or something or whatever. Okay, so shall we start?
Yep.
Let's go.
And I suppose, we can only really spend a couple of seconds on each one because of time, but initial thoughts, I suppose. So we have our fall.
I love the trust exercise kind of vibes that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the crystal. I love the crystal.
There's so much to see in this, isn't there? Every time you look at it, there's almost something different popping out. I just love it.
Yeah, I used to think that what she was holding on to was actually attached to something. So she was like holding on. But yeah. The Magician.
I'm going to in the chat, I'm going to put the link to the website. And basically, if you don't have the indie version, if you've got the mass market and you've just got that wee book, there's a lot more information available on this deck, and it's amazing. So it is. So definitely check this out for anyone who likes this deck.
Yeah. High Priestess is gorgeous. Yeah. Became the cover for the mass market Hay House edition.
Yeah.
What there's another version coming out, isn't there, in a different language? Is it a French?
The French one.
Ah,
It doesn't have this cover, does it? I think it's. Have they chose a different card?
I was just looking at it today. I think it still has the High Priestess, does it not? But it's more of a bluey colour rather than a green.
Oh, okay.
Let me check because
That's a
I'm
different.
probably
but it just shows how subtle it is with the eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes being just open, you can just see them in certain lights, particularly. You know, beautiful.
Yeah, it's like she's seeing through her eyelids, isn't it? The eyes are closed to reflect that going inward, but there is still that kind of inner sight. It's really
the third
clever.
eye. It's the third eye that I'm drawn to on this one. If you look, the third eye is really energized. It's like
Yeah.
the physical eyes are closed. The third eye is wide open. That's what I always get when I look at that.
And in Hinduism, and particularly the Brahma Kumaris sect of Hinduism, that is where the soul resides. That white light, particularly when it's shown as a white light where the third eye is, it's to represent where they believe the soul resides.
Mm-hmm.
The Empress is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing Empress.
It's Gaia to me because, you know, when I look at my Gaia murters that I have out on my sacred spaces, they've all got this, you know, global kind of in the midriff. The planet. Emperor. Now, the Hierophant, I think, am I right? It's called Hierophant in the Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the Indie, it's Keeper of the Sacred. So that's one of the differences there. But I love that. Again, the details. Look at the Hierophant staff on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
And the colours are just beautiful.
Mm. He's just such a happy person, happy-looking person. Like you wouldn't think twice about going and sitting beside him and having a conversation, which is nice. Do you know what I mean for a Hierophant card?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have our lovers. Which is gorgeous. Cupid's, it's things like the tattoos, the emblems on clothing and stuff like that. You know, you've got Cupid's bow and arrow there tattooed, which is really nice. Chariot.
I love the movement in this card.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. The colours are stunning as well.
I do think it's a wee bit weird that the charioteer is standing on top of like a carriage. Is that what's happening there? Because that's what it looks like to me.
It's like on the canopy part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah. Strength.
This is an amazing strength card.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about this card when I first got the deck, but it has grown on me. I get it now.
What was it that you initially didn't?
Just the half face, the half animal, half lion, and I get it. It was just a bit of a shock that none of the other illustrations kind of had that same.
Yeah.
But it's grown on me, really has.
And it's not the first time, or maybe it's been since Light Seers, but this has happened a few times now, hasn't it? With that strength being, is it Bright Future as well? I've done this recently. Yeah. And again, the tattoo with the Lemma State. The Hermit is interesting because to me, it always looks like the Hermit's levitating.
Yeah.
In this card, and I don't know if that's supposed to be an impression or whether it's because of the light behind making the rock that she's sitting on look kind of translucent. What's your thoughts? I've always
assumed that the light was coming from them and they were levitating.
Right.
See, it's just if they are meant to be sitting on that rock, then she's absolutely humongous. Do you know what I mean? If you look at the path is like thinning and it's going away into the distance. They're like big mountains, and yet she's this like big massive person sitting on the. I don't know. It's probably my least favourite card in the deck, if I'm honest. Is the Hermit. It's just one that I've always kind of never really got, but it's it's one card.
I agree, and because it's the Hermit, it's the one I check out, and I was kind of like, what is that? Are they levitating? Are they sitting on the rocks? It just looks on first glance, it looks quite odd, doesn't it? We have the wheel.
I like the dice around the neck or on the the necklace or design on the dress. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of to demonstrate that chance and the roll of the dice, but they are kind of like the old dices from the 70s.
Yeah, hang them in your car over the mirror.
Underneath Gaz and Deb's kind of stickers.
Yeah.
Chris is like, I'm 20 years younger.
Yeah.
What are you going on about?
No, I just want to know who Gaz and Debs are.
Sun strip along the top.
Yeah.
On the next
and we have Justice, which I adore. I think it's a beautiful card.
Oh, sure.
The reflection as well. So, yeah. Amazing.
I've spent so much time looking at this one because I'm like, is it a reflection? Is that not like a completely different person? Like, I don't know.
It is.
It is a completely different person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely. Hanged Man? Is it Hanged Man or Hanged What? No, it's Hanged Man. Yeah. Interesting.
It's interesting. There's quite a few hanged people cards that now have silk, hang from silks and do those kind of acrobatics, I've noticed.
Yeah, almost like that art form, isn't it?
Yeah.
Performance. Yeah. I don't regret selling mine, says Elle. Sort her out, Chris. She's dissing it. Death and Rebirth is...
Now, this is the card I have a problem with.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't like this one at all.
Why is that?
It took me a little while to work out what it is, and I think I've got it right. It is a cloaked or hooded person with I see it as a mirror across their face and reflecting out that way.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Grim Reaper vibes, and then but like, and instead of like, you see the new beginning through the hood.
I never saw it as that. I just see it as one of those people with no faces, but there's a reflection just going out.
See, you see kind of like the sickle, don't you, overhead? So you see this death figure, and but very often we see the death figure without a face. Usually it's just like a void, like a black space or a white space. But yeah, in here it's almost to me like a portal. That when death comes, you go into something else. It's almost like a gateway, a portal to your next kind of.
Yeah, I just have trouble with that. But I like the fact it's got Death and Rebirth as a title.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Susie Snoo says, I see it as a portal. Yeah. Temperance.
I like this one, though.
For aesthetic reasons, Richard, would that be?
I'm a fan of vest tops.
Oh, gosh. I'm the right person, I suppose.
You're going to be wearing a vest top at 7:30 during your live then, Richard? I
really love the sun and moon, having that duality and polarity and everything else.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about this devil. Let's get it out of the way. Does it give you an underwater feeling?
No.
With the hair?
Yeah, the hair. That's the direction that my hair's going on, my quarantine hair.
Yeah, it's what I love about it is the puppet on the string, the kind of in the control and under the kind of.
I love the way his eyes are. They're grey, aren't they? They're very hypnotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tower.
Oh.
Pretty amazing. There's a lot
on fire.
Sorry?
His nuts are on fire.
That's the least of his worries.
Ruin that card now. I'll never be able to look at that one again.
The star is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Interesting take on the moon. I like the top part up to the moon.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of like, well, what's going on here then?
Oh, it's amazing. See, if you read the website and read what she says about it, it's like when you're in that moon energy and it feels as though you're underwater and you're struggling to try and get to the top. But really, what you need to, you feel as though you're being trapped by all this fabric around you, but you're clothed. Really, what you need to do is just embrace it. You need to let go. You need to stop struggling and let the buoyancy take you up. Which is the idea behind the moon. It's the unfamiliarity. Is it a dog? Is it a wolf that's going to munch me? And the fear that puts in you. And I just love it. Like when you read what she says about it.
I used to think this was like a shell, but it's not. It's fabric. You can see the printed pattern on it, but it almost gives you like she's kind of half sea creature herself, like she's coming out of a shell, but it's not. I'm glad you kind of explained that in greater detail. The sun is
such a happy card, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
That's like me waking up every morning.
Yeah. I'll remind you of that next Thursday.
Yeah.
This is like the difference between before tea and after tea in the morning, to be honest with you.
A lot of coffee to get to that stage.
Yeah. I love the judgment because, we're very often seeing it from a biblical stance of being called forward to account for your life and everything you've done, facing your final judgment. Whereas this is somebody who's is releasing that, and it's wonderful. We're only accountable to ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah. I see the judgment as the Matrix, being unplugged from the Matrix. So
wow. That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
Wow. And the world. I want you to say that, Chris. What's this one?
The world.
I love how
when I say world, it has 2 syllables.
Yeah.
But it's the way you roll the R. It's incredible. I couldn't do it if I tried.
No.
It's the same way, like girl.
Yeah.
Like as in boy or girl. The word girls get 2 syllables when I say it as well.
Okay. So have we got cups?
Yep.
Yes, we're in Simon order, don't worry.
Yeah.
You listen, I didn't force it on you. You was like, okay, what order do the miners need to be in?
Yeah. I knew that was I had to send a message to check last night.
But you knew. Even did it Chris even did it in emojis.
That was
it.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's a great card, isn't it?
It is a great card. Yeah, it's fab. As is the 3. I love that. I like the perspective of behind them looking up at these beautiful kind of constellations.
Is Jen here? What's that up in the sky, Jen? Do you remember?
Yeah, Jen. What is that in the sky?
I forget nothing.
You had to been in Playdate probably about 4 or 5 months ago now.
Yeah, it was a fair while ago.
The 4. What do you think to this one? This really, I really sit and ponder. I love how she's kind of trying to, it's because, we're used to seeing kind of upturned cups and things, but it's with a purpose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to give back to
they're kind of being sucked. It looks like it's being sucked down a plug hole or something like that. There's all the. Do you get that?
What the thing that I had to really think about with it is, if you look at her face, she doesn't have that, like, she doesn't particularly look sad.
No.
She just looks contemplative.
Yeah.
And that, for me, that threw me a wee bit with the Five of Cups. I was like, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of like she's making the best of the situation, and she's kind of just with her thoughts kind of tilting the bowl, allowing it to pour out into this kind of void that's going down. Six of Cups.
I love this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the card that we know of kind of like for nostalgia and things, isn't it? And it's the memories. Thinking back to when he was young or when he had a... Because I see it as the guy thinking back to his childhood, but because of the age, it wouldn't be the same dog, but he's just thinking of, here he is as an older man with an older dog, and he's thinking about his time when he had a puppy and he was young.
Yeah, this is the plot hole card.
The what?
The plot hole card, the card with the plot hole.
What's that?
You know, if a film's got a plot hole in it, it means that there's something in the story that doesn't add up. Well, this is the one with the plot hole, because, like, if he was that young, then it can't be the same dog. But I still love it. It's still such a nice image.
He likes a checked shirt, though, doesn't he?
He does. You can tell it was created by an American. 7 of Cups. And the 8. I've just noticed the time as well, so I will pick it up a little bit, but still, if you see things in this things you want to say, then
speed round, folks.
The 10 is gorgeous.
Yeah, I love how they're sitting on this rainbow. It's nice.
Right, Chris, explain to me what is happening with the 7 with the Page of Cups, because the Page of Cups is an important card for me and you. It's a significant card. What's going on in your opinion?
He's in dreamy land. His head's up his arse. He's, I don't know. Maybe it's like Pac-Man and he lives on a Taurus, Pac-Man, if you come down this side, you come out this side. So, I don't know, but I like it.
There's a flying pig. There's a ball, which is top. There's the
flying pig makes sense, sure, because it's like when pigs will fly. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's a total dreamer, the Page of Cups. Like that's his bag, that's his thing.
You take your time, says Jamie. Okay.
He looks like it's going to ruin it for people, but he reminds me of the character Simon from The Inbetweeners.
Oh,
like him.
The one that did the catwalk.
Yeah. He's quite a dreamer, isn't he? And believer in love and stuff, so it's quite good.
Shall I potentially ruin it even more for you, or will I just keep my mouth shut?
No, go for it. Go for it. It's the final.
Jedward.
Oh, now you have ruined it.
Or I could go one further. There's something about Mary. Oh, just me to take it there.
Right. I always think about that film and I'm just like, that is it.
Want the zip scene I was thinking of. The Knight of Cups. Everybody's dishing Knight of Cups.
Now, I've got a question.
Okay.
Is the Knight of Cups the older version of the page?
Oh, I hope not.
Is that, I always get a sense with the pages that they are then represented either as a knight or often the queen in the suits.
Can't really see the resemblance. I've never made that connection before, really.
I've just noticed this, that quite often the page that's like a younger version of either the knight or the queen. We'll have to see, go through it, see what you think.
Knights get bigger feet.
I just love the scene. There's a little letter there that's been carefully put together with a wax seal and flowers waiting. There's horses in the background. Who's he waiting for?
He's waiting for date number 1. Probably date number 1 of about 20, but because he's the next up. But
Queen.
Oh,
she's beautiful, isn't she?
She is.
she is.
Really is. And I love the king here as well. I love to see kind of older people represented as well. And this deck gets criticism. The most criticism this deck gets is around diversity in terms of the body beautifuls, and everybody's beautiful. But you know, we've seen people who look all different. For me, we've seen people of different ages, different kind of looks. Not everybody's stunning. You know, some people look quite natural. The one you said earlier about the Hierophant, actually, who was laughing, you know, he's just like an average Joe. But then we have our wands, Ace of Wands, another gorgeous card.
If anything, the Hierophant, I'm just looking at him again. If anything, he's like really skinny. Like he's a wee skinny dude. You know, that's not what I would deem as body beautiful. So, don't know. Sorry. What were we doing there?
So,
I've just done the Ace of Wands.
yeah.
Ace of Wands. Right.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Ace of Wands is what I just showed, but I'm just going to go on to the 2. I love that again.
Yeah.
Looking out, you know. And the world there represented with the globe.
Yeah.
There aren't actually many buildings or inside locations in this deck, is there? Probably any I can think of.
Yeah. The little VW ready for a trip. Then we have the 3. Four. The 5 is incredible because we're used to seeing the 5 of Wands as sort of like battling and all that sort of thing, but they're working together here, aren't they? Actually, you pulling their resources and helping each other. So.
They're kind of building this scaffold, but it doesn't actually look very safe. They're kind of balancing one another by climbing all over it. It's quite fragile, but they're managing it, aren't they?
Yeah, it reminds me of those management team building days that you sent on sometimes. Yeah. There's 10 pieces of wood and string.
7 empty milk bottles. Get on with it.
Yeah. Create something amazing. 6.
Can I just read out Deanne's comment quickly? She's looked up the Page of Cups in the book, or in the site, sorry, and it says, so the Page of Cups, the reason we see his feet above is because he's imagining that's his future self. He's imagining his timeline. So, so he's using imagination.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Deanne, for doing that. 7.
I didn't realise that there's like a glass crystal ball or something going on here.
Yeah.
Or Glinda's bubble, whatever it is.
It's kind of like lots of people who do yoga and meditation, they'll put a shield, a protective light around themselves, don't they?
Yeah.
I really like this 8. I love the perspective of looking up. You feel like you're on the ground looking upwards. And the different designs and colours.
Totems, aren't they?
Yeah, stunning card. We have the 9. And then we have that heavy load, that burden that's being carried with the 10. I see what you're saying now, Richard, about the and the knights. I get where you're coming from. I love the joy and expression in her face as she's, realizing what she's manifesting there.
You can hear her laugh in your head, can't you? Yeah. You know exactly what she sounds like when she's...
Yeah, it's wonderful. And the black cat, I love it. Yeah. Our Queen of Wands.
Do you think she's got enough candles?
This was the card that was on top of my deck.
It's my favourite, Simon, as well. So
Yeah.
I love lions.
Aye, right. That's why it's your favourite.
I just like the salamander, the gecko
Yeah.
salamander on the t-shirt.
I was just thinking of getting that tattoo. That's all. I'm just going to take it with the tattooist. Do me that one, please.
Okay, so we have our swords. Ace of Swords. I was really interested with that spiral staircase going down.
There are crows in every single card in the sword suit, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have, I think for most of them, we have birds instead of actually swords.
And sometimes they're harder to spot, aren't they? Like particularly here in the 3, you know, and the 4, they're more difficult to. In fact, where is it in the 4? I know we're in a nest, but
she has just got like a tattoo with 4 lines on her arm, hasn't she? Like sort of almost like 4 sword cuts making up that diamond shape.
It's a rune, isn't it? It's one of the runes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5. Six. The 7 is immense. When you talked about hearing sounds, you can hear that kind of crawl. Eight.
I love this 8 of Swords.
Why?
Just love it. Because it's exactly what the 8 of Swords means to me. You know, you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing this person all tied up, but actually, if you look down at yourself, you know, use your logical mind, use your intellect, and actually look at the situation as it is, you'll see that you're not tied up like you think you are. You can actually just get up and walk away. You just need to use the old.
I think I've said before, if I get a tarot deck and the 8 of Swords does not show an escape route, or the fact that it's not the reality that that person is facing, then I can't gel with it. Like the Jack the Ridder, I love the fact that they're in a prison cell, but the key is on the inside, you know, and things like that. That's what I look for. And yeah, she's looking in there, and it's about thoughts, isn't it? That's why it's swords, you know, it's what she's seeing in her mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. 9 of Swords. And then we have the 10 of Swords. What did we think to the replacement card? I know some people are like, I think it was rushed, or I get, having heard the story that Chris Ann felt that this was actually her, you know, walking away from a situation and embracing a new kind of direction.
Yeah, I love it. I think both the original 10 of Swords and this 10 of Swords are both stunning cards. And I love how they represent you know, it's not just like, all right, okay, well, you've got 10 swords in you now and you're dead on the ground. It's like, you know, that's like one tiny wee aspect of the 10 of Swords, and it's not the important bit. The important bit is the moving on from it, the 10 bit of it, you know? Exactly. So I love that she's done it that way.
You're not down and out, are you? You know,
No.
But what we always see in, like, and particularly in pictures art, the black sky's above you, but look what's coming. There's a new dawn, you know, and there's always a new day.
Yep.
The page.
I love this card. There's so much like symbolism. Like, I love that she's using her sword in a weird and wonderful, innovative way. The light bulbs, the book. I just love it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. And just balancing on the edge of that blade as well with bare feet.
Yeah.
The Knight.
Similar to the 7 of Swords, the character with kind of the white hoodie and
yeah. Yeah.
See, I think this queen looks like the page.
Oh.
Just grown up.
I can see what you're saying. The nose and the eyes. Yeah. Interesting. I love getting other people's perspectives on things. I love doing this. Looking at a deck with some other people to see what I don't see or haven't considered aspects of. Brilliant. King.
I love it. It's a really nice card, isn't it? I like all the animals in there.
Yeah. And again, the detail. We've got right at the top of the staff the little symbol for air representing swords. Brilliant. Okay, then my favourite suit in this deck, Pentacles. I think it's probably my favourite suit anyway.
Yeah.
That and Cups. But
it's so refreshing that these aren't all just gold and metal pentacles, are they? They're, you can sense the texture and what they're made of. That kind of, to me, it's that kind of porcelain or kind of like a gambling chip kind of feel to it, and it's just so refreshing.
But they're really
what's on the two?
They're like mandalas as well. They're good application tool, aren't they? Beautiful. And we have this balance element with the two. The work, the attention to detail for the three. It's gorgeous. 4, she's holding that purse.
It's a beautiful card, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
You made an observation the other day, Chris, about the 4 of coins, didn't you? About, what was it you were saying about how you see the 4 of coins rather than somebody that was a miser? It was you, wasn't it?
I think I was saying something like that, yeah. I've like not been taken straight to the kind of stingy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what exactly I would have been saying. Quite often it's, at its very core, it's about material stability. And there is a bit of for me, it's not so much miser. For me, it's more about like, don't hold on to something so tightly because you're scared to lose it that you actually, you smother it. Just be careful that you're investing. Be careful that you're being sensible about your, about the stuff that you care about.
And when you think about the numerology of the 4, which is about stability, and the Pentacles is about the material elements of life, almost like that base level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the stuff that we need. The way she's embracing that purse, something that's so precious to her. Yeah. It might not have anything in it. This could be a purse that's an heirloom that she's worrying about losing, and she wants to hold on to it because she's clutching it so tight and lovingly. It's really powerful.
Yeah. I think if you read what Chris-Anne says about this card, in the background, it's not, you can't really see it, you would need to read it, but in the background, it's basically like a poor village.
Yeah.
And she's obviously quite got a degree of affluence about her. She's got like some money, she's got something to be scared to lose. And she's looking at the poor people in the background, and looking at the poor kids playing together and being like, oh, I don't want to lose what I've got. I don't want to end up like them. But I mean, you can go places with it because you can think, well, those kids playing in the background are probably happy as Larry, and yet you're sitting miserable, clutching onto what you've got so tightly that when you actually take a step back and look, say who's happy there, who's actually living their best life,
See that, and you describing that has completely flipped it on its head again. From what I've seen without reading the book, just seeing that image, but yeah, that's a really, because you don't need riches and affluence to have joy. It can be simple kids playing. Some of our most joyous moments in life is, when we were kids in the summer holidays and we could go out where days stretched on forever in the baking sun and we made up our own games and things.
Yeah.
5 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, it's 27. We're nearly there.
Oh, which one we're on? On this one? Oh, wrong order. There we go.
Yeah. Which is that, that having Tuesday sermon about who you give your money and things to, who you give charity to. I like that perspective on it. 7.
It's lovely.
Yeah. 8.
I really like this card. I really like how you got the whole moon cycle going through, and she's, you know what the texture and how uncomfortable that chair is because you've sat on those plastic chairs before, and don't you? And you just, she's got all her things for her arts there, and she's just waiting for it to do its thing.
But I love how she's just holding that candle and looking at the flame. Yeah, it's just so. She's taking that moment out, isn't she, as well? Beautiful 9. It's quite traditional with the garden scene and the bird, and
but much more joyous. Much more joyous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 10, kind of family scene. And then our page. I love how the horse is dressed. God, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The Queen actually was I've still got it on a little stand. You got, when you bought it, you got a signed card, and you could have ended up with any art print. And mine is the Queen of Pentacles.
Oh, wow.
Which was really nice. I've always kept that out on a little stand on my shelf. So she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite cards. So I was really chuffed to get that as an art print. And then the King.
And again, a more mature male there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still very accessible.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me on that deck. That was fun to do. I really enjoyed doing that and getting both of your perspectives.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm going to go look at all the quotes now, Richard, and see if I can spot that, like who's who.
The link.
Yeah.
They're all interrelated.
Navni says one of my faves. And lots of people loving our Queen of Pentacles.
Yeah, she's amazing. There'll be lots of people that'll be very jealous of you getting that art print, Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel very fortunate to get it. I had to. The second lot that dropped that everybody was waiting for, who'd missed the Kickstarter. I wasn't even aware of the Kickstarter at all. And then some of these people started getting it and showing the decks. I was like, how did I miss this? This is amazing. And then we heard there was going to be another drop. And it was California time, which is 8 hours behind us. So I knew it would be 8 o'clock in the morning because it was going to go live at midnight in California time. And I set my alarm to get up, and I was there ready, keep refreshing the page to make sure I got one. So I feel very lucky. All right, so let's pull for the last time Light Oracle. Let's have a good one, something to see us off with. And feel free to add any thoughts, Chris and Richard, as well. If
just reading all the lovely messages.
Yeah, Ross says this format bears repeating, Simon. Really interesting to have a variety of perspectives. I agree. We could have spent longer. When Chris joined me last Friday, we looked at Marielle, and we didn't do it justice because we had literally seconds to talk about each card. So I agree that we could easily do a couple of hours as a live and really dig deep into a deck and get 3 different perspectives, because I still say, you know, you can get a companion book and read what the artist's and creator's intention is, but everybody will come to the same tarot deck from their own unique life experience. They bring that with them.
Yeah.
All right, so how perfect.
What a nice card to end on.
From the Empress card. Wow, how do you talk about love? I mean, what is love? Oh, I'm going to start singing Hadaway. What is love? Or do you remember those little, I guess there were memes before memes existed, but do you remember those little cartoons, Love Is?
Yeah.
Love is never having to say you're sorry. Love is, it kind of reminds me of that as well. But for me, and I'm going to try and put this into the perspective of what we've been doing here as a community to get us through this last year. Love is a deep sense of commitment and care. And, you know, it's not just me doing these or Chris and Richard when you've done them and what we do. It's everybody who's invested their time and come along and supported QuaranStream. Because for me, you know, I'm not talking about falling in love or being in love. Love is a universal power. Love is energy and it's universal. And everybody, irrespective of what horrendous or heinous crimes people might commit, everybody has the capacity to love. And I believe everybody has love somewhere in them. But for me, in the sense of QuaranStream and what we've done and what we've achieved together, is that commitment and care for our friends who are here helping each other day in, day out, get through something that has been completely unprecedented and something that we weren't equipped to deal with in the early stages. We've learned to deal with it as we've gone on, and because we've basically not been given a choice. But I know that it would have been a much more challenging and difficult year for me had I had to do this alone. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to you guys, you know, for your friendship and being part of this as well. But thank you to everybody who's in the chat, who turns up day after day after day to check in and offer support. Anything you want to say about love?
I think you've covered it.
You have covered it, Simon. I loved it.
I loved it. I like that.
Perfect card to end on, wasn't it? It just reflects the entire ethos, is that the right word? But the whole point of QuaranStream is to spread the love and just keep those connections going.
Yeah.
Keep us all going.
And do you know what, guys? This might be the last QuaranStream, but it's not the last live on YouTube. With, you know, I'm here tomorrow doing Cup of Ketchup and Cards. Richard's got a live later. Chris does lives on Thursdays. There's always going to be somebody live. Deanne was live this afternoon. Becca's live 3 times a week. Julie goes live. There's Jen's played it. There's so many lives that we're still a community and we're still here for each other. And yeah, it's been great. It's been sad we've had to do it, but at the same time, we have to look for that that chink of light in the darkness, and that chink of light for me has been everybody here. So thank you both of you for being my guests today.
Thank you, Simon.
Out the quarantine in the past. Any final words?
I suppose, Simon, just on behalf of, you know, not just us, but absolutely everyone, do you know what I mean, who follows your channel, and like, I don't think I could probably justify how much QuaranStream and, you know, how much you as a person have done for all of us as a community. So just with this being the final QuaranStream, I think it's only right that we kind of say thanks and give you all the claps and finger snaps and whatever it is, you know, for doing this for us. So thank you so much to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And as I've always said, you know, it really has been a two-way street. It really has. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, see you tomorrow for Cup of Catch Up and Cards. I'll see you in Richard. What time's your live, Richard?
In half an hour.
Oh, hope you've got time to grab some food and stuff.
Fine. Got some wine. Be fine.
I've got some wine. Yeah, that will get you through.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic end to your week. Enjoy your Friday. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste. And blessed be.